Welcome to another episode of the channel, and today we're going to do something different than building on the blue one. We're going to do some talk about, amongst other, the red one behind us, the M535. So
yeah, you've seen it before in some episodes. We've been on some shows. It was great shows and some
successful.
Yeah, and some problems as well. But now it's running as it should be.
It's running well.
Yeah.
So
we're going to talk a little about the history of the car, and the upcoming of the car, why it's like it is today.
Yeah, it's been a long road to get it to where it is, and I'm going to go through a little bit about the refurbishing process and the. Of course, the end result as well.
Yeah. So, but how did it start?
Yeah, how did it start?
Why is it red?
It's red because I always wanted a red M535. That's been a dream of mine, and never actually had the chance to have one. And when this car came along, it was white, quite plain, no exterior. Apart from the body kit and everything, it wasn't anything especially with the car. And no accessories to talk about inside. So it was a gamble to get the all the equipment fitted and to get the car exactly like I wanted it. If I was the one purchasing this car from new, this would be the spec I would choose. Yeah, more or less.
And we're going to go a long time ago, a lot of years back to... Actually, when we first met, you had a M535, a blue one.
Yeah, in this color.
Yeah.
Royal blue.
Yeah. And that was also with BBS split.
Yeah.
And you have been talking about building or having a car like this for many years.
Yeah. So, but yeah, time goes by and things come in between. So,
Yeah, but now it's here.
Now it's here.
So, the journey of this car started in 2020?
Yeah, I got it in 2020 and then it was sitting around for a few years quite a while. And then I started refurbishing it back in 2023, I think. And it was completed in 2024. So it took about, let's say, a year on and off. So, but I mean, yeah, it's a good renovation. It's a little bit more than what's normal. But it's really, I'm really happy with it.
What was the biggest, the hardest thing to do with it?
I think the hardest thing was to actually find all the parts, because I bought it disassembled. The car came in boxes and everything was like taken apart for an ongoing renovation. When somebody else takes something apart, they mark everything up as they think they should find the parts yet again when they need it. But when you come from outside and you didn't store things or label things the same way, it's quite hard. It's a deep investigation to find all the items and identify them and get the car back together. That's the hardest thing, I think.
And this car right now, as you said, it's like you wanted it to be if you ordered it from the beginning as new. It has a lot of goodies.
It has. It has basically all the possible options except for the adjustable headlights. And I didn't want those. I had the parts, but I didn't want them because that's a mess to get working and to keep working. So I avoided it.
Yeah. As always in Sweden, we have sun and rain, and always often it's in the same day. So when we started to make this today, we wanted sun, but it's been raining, so we were going to just
wipe it clean and make a walk around.
Yeah, stay tuned.
Stay tuned. here it is.
Yeah.
In the flesh.
Yes. We have wiped it clean, and you could think it's another day, but it's still the same day.
Same day.
For just about a minute ago, the sun was shining again.
Yeah. Now it's gone.
Yeah.
And hopefully it will come back so we can see the color really pop, because the cinnabar rod, the color of this car is really when it's sun is hitting in it. So and the contrast between the shadow line and the cinnabar rod color, I think it's really optimal, because it's it makes everything, makes the red even redder when the black is black. That's really for sure. So
yeah, what you've seen the car before, and we've talked a little bit about it, and you can just take it from the beginning again of the restoration of the car. What did you start with?
Starting with, there was a very tiny amount of rust. The most of it was already done, and some actually never even happened, because the car has been taken care of really, really well over its lifespan. Probably stored indoors most of the time. So on the classic parts, normally rusting out, nothing to find. So that was really a blessing. But apart from that, fixing what needs to be fixed, then preparing everything, rust prevention and everything, and quite early on sending it off to paint shop. So I could prepare the engine and everything, because that was also something needed to be taken care of. So the engine was taken apart, everything was painted and refurbished and zinc plated and so yeah, the standard.
Yeah. And it was M535 from the beginning, so nothing is changed about that, except for the color and what's inside of the car.
Yeah, true. So the manufacturing spec of this car is no longer accurate. It was, like I said, Alpine wise, and it was with the blue carpet and the blue fabric sport seats, and that's what that was basically it. Nothing else. There was a sunroof, but not the glass one, which is installed now. But I mean, no equipment to talk about. So right now it has fully equipped. So it has most of the options available back in 1985. Yeah.
So actually, it's not actually a restoration of the original car. It's a new built car.
Yeah, you can say, yeah. I made it like I wanted to have it, so it's basically fully spec 1985. So it's quite good.
Yeah, we'll take it from inside and out, I think, because the inside is actually spectacular.
Yeah.
This color of the leather interior.
Yeah, it is Lotus Weiss. It's the brightest interior they had. And it was not available in the E28.
Yeah, I think we should start from the inside and out. And before that, we're filming in the countryside. There are some noises,
something.
And it picks up everything around here. Some dogs are barking, and machines are passing by.
Always something going on.
Yeah. But that's also the charm of everything, I think.
It is.
This interior, it's spectacular.
Yeah, the spec is Lotus Weiss. It's the most bright interior they had back in the 80s, and it wasn't really an option for the E28. However, this interior came from an M5 who was crashed in the 90s somewhere, so I got hold of this interior. It was in this color, but it was an individual option. So the owner of that car one back in the day probably saw this interior in an E24, E30 or E23 and wanted it for his E28. So he got this special ordered, and now it's reupholstered in the same color. And we also expanded all the option with the full leather interior with the dash and the doors and everything. So we can have a look in here, and you'll be able to see you have the handle stitched, you have the upper part of the door stitched, and the dashboard, glove box, and the center console, and yeah, pretty much everything inside is now stitched in the correct way, like it was if you order it. So that's done. Along with that, I also went to the bronze color glass. So I changed from the blue tone to the bronze tone. And this created one problem with the windshield, because the windshield is no longer available in bronze. However, I had the manufacturer of those windshields to make a new one. So they have a one-off new bronze windshield in this car, and that's quite unique. And that's really something I'm grateful for, because it would look weird if you didn't have the right color on the windshield.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's just to find every windows. Did you have all of the windows, or how did you do?
Yeah, I had the windows for the doors and everything. I had those lying around from parts from different spare cars and spare doors. So that was possible to solve. It was the windshield that was a problem, but now it's solved, and it's quite nice to have a brand new windshield anyway. So it's great.
And this one,
the glass sunroof.
Yeah, that's also not there from the beginning.
No, it was a metal sunroof in this one, and now I had also one lying around, a glass sunroof. So I put this in. And it's quite a nice option, especially now when the interior is so bright. So when the sun can actually break through and you can light up the car with the sun also through the roof, it's really making the interior pop even more.
Yeah.
So it's quite nice.
Many parts on this car is years and years of collecting.
It is.
Spare cars been bought, and cars has been bought and changed with other parts. And
yeah, I mean, pretty much I've been doing these cars for like 30 years, on and off. And there's always some parts saved and some parts scrapped. But I mean, most of the parts I had was really useful when it came to this car, because I could put in all the equipment. Like now I have the power windows all around. Normally the option is to have in the front doors, to have also in the rear, especially in Europe at least. It's quite odd, but now there is. So there's electrical power windows and all 4 doors. Also in the sunroof there's air condition, cruise control, onboard computer, seat heating. There is no power seats. That's one thing I'm missing, I realize.
But all of that was not there from the beginning. So the whole electrical system is...
Yeah, it's pretty much the same. It changed. I had to change the whole core, the cable core in the car, because there is some parts missing, especially on the early cars. This is in 1985. So back in those days, at least, there was 2 different cable cores. If you have a 1987, I'm quite sure that all the cars were equipped with a big harness. So I'm quite sure it's easier on a late model car to do this kind of modification than it was on this one. So it was quite a bit of job to get the electrical system to match up, especially with air condition and cruise control and everything. All those kind of things you need to it's a detective work to find everything.
Yeah, we got back to the inside of the car, I think, later on. But now I want to know everything about the exterior. Or I don't want to know, but our viewers I hope want to know. What's so special and unique with the M535?
Nah, not so much really. It's a motorsport edition. It's like the M package car with the aerodynamics outside. You have the front bumper integrated with the spoiler. You have this arches widening out a little bit, and then you have the lower sills here. What do you call them? Wideners on the
side skirts.
Yeah, side skirts. Thanks. So that's one thing, and the same thing in the back. You have the integrated bumper with the spoiler down underneath, and you have the wing on the trunk. The spoiler on the trunk, which is the M-Technic one.
This also has black line.
Yeah, it has the black line, shadow line, or whatever you want to call it, and it's matching really well with the color, I guess. I really believe so. So it's the trim in the window seals and around the lights, yeah, around the doors and everything.
We have a detail here that's quite odd, that also is black.
Yeah, the antenna. The power antenna is black. It's a Shadowline original Hirschmann.
Yeah. And I have one question. On every car you see, you always put the antenna, if it's not in the front of these cars, it's normally here.
Yeah. It has its explanation, because this is the only place where you have room for this, the drive unit for the antenna. It's quite big, the whole thing, which drives the antenna upwards. And you cannot put it up here because you have the tank filler console on the inside, and you have the hinges and everything. So here's full of parts. Here is nothing, so this is the place to have it. On the other side you have the toolbox for like the jack and the triangle for emergency cases. So this is the best place to have it. So this is actually put in the place where the BMW spec is aiming for it. So that's where it should be.
Yeah.
It's not the prettiest place, but it's the correct place. So then it's...
Yeah, and the wheels?
The wheels, they are BBS RS 17-inch, 9.5-inch wide in the rear and 8.5-inch wide in the front. And they are original parts, which is refurbished, so there is no new rims or anything. And they are ET13 all around. So I equipped them with 225s in the front and 245s in the rear, and I mean, I think it looks great. This cars, at least in the Swedish market, came with the 16-inch BBS wheels from beginning, from a supplier. So when you bought this from BMW back in the 80s, they came with these wheels, but in 16-inch size. But today, like 30 years later, the mindset of everyone is like 16 looks so small, even though it's correct. So I decided to go for 17 instead, to keep up with the modern age.
So when we're discussing the wheels, we can also the suspension. It's a little bit lowered.
Yeah, it's a little bit lowered. It's about 25 millimeters all around. It's H&R springs on the Bilstein chassis, so it's nothing special. Otherwise, it's stock things like anti-roll bars and everything is standard.
And everything is new.
Yeah, most of the things are new when it comes to chassis, like bushings and control arms and everything is new, of course. So it's pretty much the same condition you see upwards or from the top side here. It's the same underneath. Everything is like painted and cleaned and replaced.
It's actually like driving a new car.
It is. It's tight, and it's like really following your command when you're driving it. So it's really, like you say, it's like a new car. I would say that driving this car, at least, it's pretty much like driving it when you roll out from the dealership back in 1985. Both when it comes to like how the engine responds and also the chassis, how it follow your commands and everything. So it's really a pleasure to drive.
Yeah. And speaking about the engine, shall we pop the hood?
I thought you never asked.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's pop the hood. Here it is. A bit dusty after the road trips we had a few days ago. However, same thing here. Everything is like taken out and fixed, and but most of the parts actually in here, even though some is new, most of the parts are actually original parts which been refurbished and put back to their original condition. So most of the parts like hood locking stuff, these clamps for the airbox and everything, they have been taken out and they've been sent to the zinc plating and everything, so which make them look like they were like produced yesterday. Also hoses and everything like this from the AC system, all of them is refurbished in the same way. And even the hoses for the washer system here. This is quite tricky to find, but there is in the Bimmer world in US, they can still supply the correct hose if you buy this hose today from BMW, it's black. They changed for black color on the later models, and then all the old models has to follow. So yeah, that should be transparent like this one. Headlights, buckets, everything new. Needs to be like, it's quite funny, but when you take a car apart, you look at the items and you feel like, oh, this is good enough to reuse for the next assembly. So, but then after a respray and you come back and you put everything back together, the things you thought was okay is no longer okay, because the contrasts are there immediately. So that's why you end up over refurbishing everything and maybe buying more new stuff than you were planning to do in the first place. But I mean,
it's
in this car,
it's worth it.
It is worth it. Yeah, in this car I don't regret anything.
No.
It's really, the ambition was to get it better than new, or at least as new. And
is there something done with the engine?
Nothing, no modifications. The only fun thing is that when I took the engine apart and I started to look over everything, I realized the cylinder head on this car is a Hartke. It's a Hartke engine, it's stamped, so it's I can show a picture here in the video where I saw the stamp when I was like refurbishing everything. However, it's nothing modified, so it's a standard camshaft and everything in it. So it's doing what it's supposed to do. 218 horsepower, nothing else, nothing more, nothing less. The only thing I had was the headers on it. I put the headers on the exhaust side, so there is instead of the cast iron manifolds.
I think it's easy to see here. But,
yeah, you can see from back here.
Yeah.
So those are the ones, yeah, which is not original.
It's hard to find new items for the car.
It is.
For this old
getting
timer.
harder all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been doing like 3 cars like this in the last 4 years, I would say. And the parts I could buy 4 years ago was maybe 50% still available when it comes to this. And now, I don't know, maybe 30% still available. So they are dropping off. It's getting really hard to get parts, the things you take for granted, you know. And the latest thing I hear is even the headlights, the inserts, right now no longer available. Of course, they will go for some years and then they will make a new batch, so they will be available again. But at this point, they are not. So there is problems with the cars at this age.
You have to find some other ways, and
yeah,
you have.
True.
Nowadays, it's easy to remanufacture on your own some parts, but not all of them.
No.
Some parts you want stock,
of course,
original parts.
Yeah, yeah.
And
there were, I mean, of course, spare parts like oil filter and brake discs and everything. That's always, there is alternatives from BMW, but when it comes to like grills and hood locks, and there is specific model things, model specific things, which is not possible to buy from someone else than BMW. And when they decide to end the part, then it is ended. Yeah. So the market is too small for someone else to pick it up.
This is also for the enthusiasts. This is something that's really important.
Which one?
This.
Ah, this one.
Yeah.
The toolbox.
The toolbox.
Yeah, that's something you need to have. You need to have all the parts here, so you can fix everything along the way, except for a broken distributor on the ignition system. And also a quite fun thing is that the interior here, especially the carpet, is new old stock. So this is also a new interior back here. So nothing has been sitting on it, apart from this BMW bag, yep, but nothing else. So it's really fresh and in good condition, I must say. So I'm quite happy with it. Yeah, for E28s and many other 80s BMW, you have this, especially this tailpipe with this collar here that is rolled out on the end. And that's really classic design for the 80s. it was also Mercedes and other cars had the same design, but that's something I think should be coming back on the market, because if you lose them, and as I understand right now, BMW has no more stock of those, you cannot get anything similar to fit. It's quite hard. There is some alternatives, but I mean, it's not the same, that's for sure. I've been looking around for the next project, but since the Alpina project the Alpina had a different tailpipe, so I can manage to manufacture for that one, but otherwise it's a shame.
It's also a nice touch that it's in the middle of the car, or slightly to the right.
True.
That's something that I just picked up when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And one of the things why I love the E28, and also has one of my own.
Yeah, so it's very sporty.
Yeah, it's
have the exhaust in the center instead of having it on the side like the other ones other car manufacturers choose to have. But I think it's really cool.
Yeah.
And it's squeezed in, the silencer is squeezed in between the fuel tank and the spare tire bucket.
It's amazing work that's been done, and every detail is, there's a thought about every detail, and yeah, you can also see that it's, everything is just like brand new. The details are amazing. And
yeah. They are actually, I'm quite happy with it. It's still some small things that I need to do probably, but I mean, it's nothing that nobody else would notice.
What can you tell us about the sound system?
Sound system in this car is the BMW sound system from the 80s with the tweeters in the front doors. And you have the woofers, the 4x6, I think they are, in the lower end of the footrests, the compartment. And then in the rear shelf, there is a two-way speaker. So the head unit is the Blaupunkt Bremen, the DAB system, the new one, which looks like the old one. And then under the rear seat, there is a flat subwoofer and amplifiers. So everything is hidden out, nothing is showing. So all what you can see is the original E28 sound system parts, but it sounds really good. So even though it's an old system, it plays like a modern car inside. So it's quite nice when you put the cruise control going down the highway and yeah, play music like you should. That's really...
Not too loud, you want to hear the engine as well.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, the straight six, the M30s, it has a nice sound.
Yeah, that's unique, I must say, especially from BMW. There is a lot of straight six from the 80s, but the BMW one is really something else when you put it on the higher revs.
Yeah, you will probably see this car more in this channel we're going to some shows.
Yeah, well, we will have some more car shows going to, and also some, just E28 gatherings along the way. So we will bring the cars. Definitely.
And if you do want to know something more about details about the car restoration, don't be afraid to write.
No, just comment and like and subscribe and everything like that on the channel, and just hit me a line if you have any questions or if you need advice how to do something. I mean, as you know, right now I'm doing the Alpina, and it's not the same level of refurbish, but it's still a very high one, I would say. So I guess, I can show on that car if there is something you need to know.
Yeah.
There is more to come. The work continues with the blue one, working on the trunk and the rear spoiler, and also about to get the engine installed, and all that will come. However, right now there is a summer vacation here in Sweden, and there's a lot of other things, activities with the family and stuff like that takes some time, but I mean, yeah, it's probably the same for all the viewers. So there will be a lot of fun things in the next few days or weeks, I would say.
More is coming up.
Yeah,
have some more things to do.
Yeah.
Thank you for today.
Mark race.